Hello everyone. So in the previous video we have started with the exercise 5a. We have solved certain numericals and let us proceed further with some few more numericals. Let me read out the question first. Those of you are having your book, you can just look over there, and the same question I have written over here, so you can just go through it. 24 cc of marsh gas. Marsh gas is what? Methane. Was mixed with 100 cc of oxygen and then exploded. On cooling, the volume of the mixture became 82 cc, of which 58 cc was unchanged oxygen. Which law does this experiment support? Explain with calculation. So from what we have to do over here, from whatever information given, we have to find out how much of the oxygen that has been used up in the reaction and how much of the carbon dioxide that has been formed. Now once after we get the amount of oxygen used up and amount of carbon dioxide formed and the amount of methane that has been used up into the reaction, from all these data we have to find out which law that the reaction supports. So let us first work on it. Let us find out the amount of oxygen used up and the volume of carbon dioxide that has been formed into this reaction. So here, first of all, it has been given, on cooling the volume of the mixture became 82 cc, of which 58 cc was unchanged oxygen. So unreacted oxygen is equals to 58 cc. This is a unreacted oxygen. I am underlining this, that is 58 cc, this is the unreacted oxygen. And see, always into a chemical reaction what happens, certain reactants are being provided. From that, sometimes it so happens that the whole of the reactants gets used up, and sometimes it so happens that there are some reactants which used up and some of them they remain behind. So let us see how much of that is a reacted oxygen. So this is the unreacted oxygen. Therefore reacted oxygen here, it is total volume has been given as 106. So what we will be doing, that is 106 minus 58. So that will give us 106 minus 58, so that will be 48 cc. So reacted oxygen is 48 cc, unreacted oxygen is 58 cc. What else has been given? Volume of marsh gas used up. Marsh gas, that is methane, used up, that is equals to 24 cc. Then we always know that whenever methane reacts with oxygen, it forms what? It is going to form carbon dioxide. So we have to find out how much of the carbon dioxide that has been formed up. So volume of carbon dioxide formed in the reaction, volume of carbon dioxide formed in the reaction, look here. So here we have been provided with, on cooling the volume of the mixture became 82 cc. That means the total volume of the mixture is 82 cc, and from that 58 cc was unchanged oxygen. So what we will do, 82 minus 58. The whole mixture is 82 cc, from which 58 is unchanged oxygen. So if we deduct this from 82, if we are deducting this 58, we will be getting the volume of carbon dioxide form, that is 82 minus 58 cc. So that will be giving us 24 cc. So we got all the information now. We have found out reacted oxygen. We got the volume of marsh gas. This has already been given into this equation. Now let us, not in the equation, that has been given into the question, and volume of carbon dioxide that has been formed is 24 cc. So let us now write down the equation, that is, so methane, that is CH4 plus O2 forming carbon dioxide plus water molecules. We know that is, here oxygen is 48 and methane is 24. So let us first write down the volumes over, that is 24 cc, this is 48 cc, and carbon dioxide formed is also 24 cc. So this is one part, this is two parts. Obviously this will be 2 over here. We can balance it in this way also, and then afterwards we don't have to find anything for water, but just let's balance it from the information given. Always whenever an equation you get to see that always you balance it. So 4 hydrogen over here, but here it's only 2, so we'll write down 2 over here. So this 24 is to 48 is to 24. Again we can bring it to a simpler ratio, that is, it is 1 volume, this will be 2 volume, this will be 1 volume. So therefore the gases bear a simple ratio to one another. It's a simple ratio, that is 1 is to 2 is to 1. Hence, which law does this experiment support? Hence, the experiment or the equation or the reaction, hence the reaction supports Gay-Lussac's law. Gay-Lussac's law. So with this we complete with this fifth numerical. Let us proceed further. So next question, what volume of oxygen would be required to burn completely 400 ml of acetylene? Formula for acetylene is C2H2. Also calculate the volume of carbon dioxide formed. So here we have to find out oxygen required. We have been provided with acetylene. So let us proceed. We'll check the equation has been balanced. Okay. So let us first copy down the equation. So this is 2 volume, this is 5 volume, this is 4 volume. Therefore, here we can see it follows a simple ratio. The gases bear a simple ratio and hence follows the Gay-Lussac's law. You can write down one more statement if you have time, or you can also neglect it. That is 2 volumes of acetylene requires 5 volumes of oxygen and produces 4 volumes of carbon dioxide. That is optional. If you have time, you can write down, or simply you can just write, you can show the volumes over here and then you can write down this statement that it is follows the Gay-Lussac's law. This is important, that is you have to mention that the reaction is following some law, that is it is following the Gay-Lussac's law. Therefore, next what has been given, 4 volumes of acetylene that we have been provided. So 2 volumes of acetylene requires 5 volumes of oxygen. Therefore, here we have been provided at 400 ml of acetylene. 400 ml of acetylene will require oxygen is equals to what we'll be doing, 5 by 2 into 400. So 2 ones are 2. So this will be what? 1000 ml. That is volume of oxygen will be 1000 ml. What else we have to calculate? Also calculate the volume of carbon dioxide formed. Second part, that is 2 volume of acetylene forms 4 volume of carbon dioxide. Therefore, 400 ml of acetylene will form or will give carbon dioxide is equals to what we'll be doing? This 4 by 2. We are considering this as well as this. So 4 by 2. 4 by 2 into 400. So 2 ones are 2 twos are. So that is 800 ml. Okay. And in the end you just write down that is answer. What is 1000? That is oxygen required is equals to 1000 ml, and second answer, the second part, that is carbon dioxide formed is equals to 800 ml. See students, easier for the teachers to look when you are writing down answers very clearly over here at the end. So I would always suggest this step. I don't have much space on the board, but I think you are clear with it, with the idea. Next question. Question number 7 from the same exercise, that is exercise 5A. 112 cubic centimeter of H2S, that is hydrogen sulfide, which is in the gaseous state, is mixed with 120 cubic centimeter of chlorine at STP to produce HCl and sulfur. Write a balanced equation for this reaction and calculate the volume of the gaseous product formed and composition of the resulting mixture. So our first step would be what? To write a balanced chemical equation. Okay, fine. We'll be writing down a balanced chemical equation. Next, we'll be finding out the volume of the gaseous product form. That means from the equation, we have to find out which substances are in the gaseous state, and we have to find out that is the product which is in the gaseous state, and the second thing, that is composition of the resulting mixture. We have to find out the composition of the resulting mixture. Now, what do we mean by resulting mixture? First of all, you should be clear with the idea what do we mean by resulting mixture. Now, resulting mixture means what? That substances, that is a product which have been formed. Those product which is in the gaseous state, that you will find out, as well as any gases which remains unused into the reaction. I repeat, the product which has been formed in the gaseous state, that you have to find out, and any gases or any substance which remains unused into the reaction, that is called as the resulting mixture. That means what happens that again I repeat that in any chemical reaction, certain substances, you take certain amount of the substances, but all of them, they do not get used up. So whatever that remains behind along with the product, that is called as the resulting mixture. So let us work on it. First of all, let us write down the balanced chemical equation from the given condition. It has been given 112 cubic centimeter H2S is mixed with 120 cubic centimeter of Cl2. So that means HCl is involved over here and chlorine is involved over here. So H2S, which is and it's been given in the question. Even if it's not given, you have to at least remember certain things. Hydrogen sulfide is in the gaseous state, chlorine is also in the gaseous state, hydrogen chloride, that is also in the gaseous state. Sulfur always remains in the solid state, particularly for these type of reactions. So let us proceed with the reaction. That is H2S plus chlorine, that is also in the gaseous state. What does it form? To produce HCl and sulfur, that is HCl, which is in the gaseous state, and sulfur which is in the solid state. So we write down solid over here. So this is our first step. Then next we'll check whether it has been balanced or not. So chlorine is 2 over here, but it is 1 over here, so we'll write down 2 over here. Now 2 hydrogen, chlorine 2, sulfur is 1, so the equation has been balanced. So next we'll write down 1 volume, the same step, 1 volume, 2 volume. We are not writing down anything for sulfur. Why? Because sulfur is in the solid state. All these laws are applicable only for the gases, so you will work only with the gases. Then you can write down one more statement, that is 1 volume of hydrogen sulfide requires 1 volume of chlorine to form 2 volumes of hydrogen chloride. Or simply you can say the gases bear a simple ratio, the gases bear or are in simple ratio to one another. And hence follows Gay-Lussac's law. Next step is what? 112 cubic centimeter of HCl is mixed with this. So we'll find out from here how much of, first of all, we have to find out volume of the gas. We have finished with this part, that is writing down a balanced equation. Next is volume of gaseous product formed. So we'll be finding out this, that is hydrogen chloride that has been formed. So 1 volume of H2S gives 2 volume of HCl. Therefore 112 cubic centimeter of H2S will give HCl is equals to 112 into 2, so that will be 4 cubic centimeter. Next is we have to find out the resulting mixture. So we need how much anything that has been unreacted. We have been provided with 120 cubic centimeter of chlorine, and 1 part of hydrogen sulfide reacts with 1 part of chlorine. So let's find out volume of chlorine provided, that is equals to 120 cubic centimeter. Therefore unused chlorine is equals to 1 part is requiring 1 part, so that is okay. Used chlorine, let us first write down used chlorine. Volume of used chlorine is equals to 112 cubic centimeter. So I'm writing down over here as I don't have the space over here. So therefore unused chlorine, what will be doing? 120 minus 112, so that will be 8 cubic centimeter. Therefore, so we are getting unused chlorine, we are getting this volume of hydrogen chloride form, that is 224 cubic centimeter. So these two will make up the resulting mixture. Therefore resulting mixture is equals to 224 cubic centimeter of HCl plus 8 cubic centimeter of unused chlorine. This is your resulting mixture, and in the end you can again write down answer 1. Answer 1 is 224 cubic centimeter of HCl, and 2 will be what? 224 cubic centimeter of HCl plus 8 cubic centimeter of chlorine. This is your answer. So we'll finish with the next sum. Okay, question number 8. 2500 cc. I missed out to write down. I'll just write down 2500 cc of oxygen was burnt with 600 cc of ethane, that is C2H6. Calculate the volume of unused oxygen and the volume of carbon dioxide formed after writing a balanced equation. That means we have to write down a balanced equation. We have been provided with ethane. We also have to find out unused oxygen, that means oxygen that has been used over here. We have to find out the unused oxygen, and our first step is to write down the balanced equation. It's been already been given the formula for ethane. Even if it's not given, you remember it, you learn it, that ethane is C2H6. When I'll be explaining you organic chemistry, then I'll explain you how we get this formula. So at the present moment we'll not go into the detail how we get this formula C2H6. In organic chemistry we'll be going detail into this. So for this, and moreover, okay, let me first write down the equation, then I'll explain. Now this equation, it comes from organic chemistry also, so either it's a very important equation. When you study organic chemistry, you'll come to know it's a very important equation. It is so important that I've been checking it several number of times that I remember the ratio is 2746. I don't need to balance it. After checking it so many number of times, it has been it has set up in my mind that the ratio is 2746. So this is a required equation. Next we have to find out unused oxygen. So our first step will be same, that is 2 volume, 7 volume, 4 volume, and this we are not writing down because this is in the liquid state. Next, the gases bear a simple ratio. And hence follows Cayley-6 law. Okay. Now 2 volumes of ethane, 2 volumes of C2H6 requires 7 volumes of oxygen. Therefore 600 cc of ethane will require oxygen. What will be doing over here? 7 by 2 into 600. So this is 2 3s, so that is 2100 cc. So required oxygen is 21 cc. But here we have been provided with 2500 cc. So therefore unused oxygen this will be what? 2500 cc minus 2100 cc. So that is 400 cc. So we have completed with the calculate the volume of unused oxygen and the volume of carbon dioxide formed. Next is 2 volumes of C2H6 gives 4 volumes of carbon dioxide. Therefore 600 cc of ethane will give carbon dioxide is equals to what will be doing? That is 4 by 2 into 600. So that is 2 3s, so that is 1200 cc of CO2. Then you can write down the answer in the end, that is unused oxygen is equals to 400 cc. Second answer is what? Carbon dioxide formed is equals to 1200 cc. I am underlining this part over here. So I hope it's clear to you. Next, what volume of oxygen at STP is required to affect the combustion of 11 liters of ethylene C2H4 at 273 degrees Celsius and 380 mm of Hg pressure? We have been provided with the equation, but this equation has been given to us to confuse us. Let us see what can we do. Let us proceed. So it's slightly different from all the other numericals which we have solved. So first let us just write down the information that has been given to you. So we have been provided with 11 liters of ethylene and we have been provided with certain temperature like 273 degrees Celsius. Here we have been provided with pressure which were not given in the earlier equations, and those earlier reactions had followed the Gale-Lussac's law, but this is slightly different where we have been provided with temperature and pressure. So it suggests that it must be following some Boyle's law, Charles' law, or gas law. So let us see which law it follows. So let the volume of, I am writing down volume in short, volume of ethylene be V1 is equals to 11 liters that we have been provided. 11 liters of ethylene at 273 degrees Celsius. So let the volume of ethylene be 11 liters. Let the temperature be T1, and that is 273 degrees Celsius. What we'll be doing, we have to convert it into, this is in liters, so obviously we have to convert into Kelvin. So that will be 273 plus 273, so that will give us 546 Kelvin and 380 mm of Hg of pressure. So let the pressure be P1 is equals to 380 mm of Hg. Now it's been given what volume of oxygen at STP, standard temperature and pressure, is required to affect this particular reaction. So we have to find, that is T2, and P2 we get from this word, that is STP, standard temperature and pressure. Therefore T2, it is the reaction taking place at STP. We can write down this statement, the reaction is taking place taking place at STP, standard temperature and pressure, STP conditions, standard temperature pressure conditions. Therefore, your T2 will be 273 Kelvin and P2, I don't have a space, so I am writing down over here. You can write down one after another. Since I don't have much space on the board, let me write down in this way. So P2 will be what? That is 760 mm of Hg. Now look carefully what we have got. We have got V1, T1, P1, P2 and T2. All these parameters are known to us. So if you remember in class 9, we have solved many numericals based on this. So the reaction follows gas law or gas equation, or the reaction follows the gas equation. What was the gas equation, if you remember? Okay, so that was P1. Therefore equation is, or the formula that we need to use, formula P1 V1 by T1 is equals to P2 V2 by T2. That is P1 V1 into T2 is equals to P2 into V2 into T1. This also we can just write down over here, into sign over here. We need what? We need V2. Therefore V2 is how much? So V2 is, so therefore V2, what will be doing? P1 into V1 into T2, and this P2 into T1 comes down. So since because there is no space, let me continue over here. So therefore V2 is equals to, P1 is 380 into V1 is, that is 11 liters, into T2 is, T2, where is T2? Alright, that is 273 upon P2 is 760 into T1. T1 is 546. So this is 1 this is 2 this will also be 273 1 this is 273 2 so we'll be getting it as 11 by 4. So 11 by 4, if you are dividing this 11 by 4, you will be getting 2.75 liters. You will want me to show you this calculation, 11 by 4. Okay, 4 2s are 8, 3, 7s are 28. Okay, then over here 0, so this will be 5s are. So this is how you get 2.75 liters. Okay, just go through it. I hope it's clear. In the end, you write down the answer. That is V1. Therefore, volume of oxygen required. That is oxygen required is equals to 2.75 liters. Alright students, okay, so today we stop over here, and again I'll come in the next video with some few more numericals. See that by that time you practice all these reactions, all these numericals, and we'll see further. Thank you students.